Quelle idée que fait de la musique, mon ami.
Putain.
Qu'est-ce qu'on fout ici?
Quelle perte de temps. On pourrait passer un week-end à jouer au mini-golf avec notre famille.
Hey baby, how you doing?
Good.
Because we have to go for the house visit.
Yeah, I know. How far is it?
You have to stop now.
Now!
2 weeks later.
So we did basically the first parts. We talked to you guys about all of those fun stuff here for till about 4 minutes in the song, what we call before what we call the first chorus. Why? I don't know. Ask him. And last thing we've been listening to was this little interlude.
I think it was way more spontaneous and much more raw on the Amensal Rise than on Ep.3 because the acoustic parts were more sparse and we did like all of them in half a day or something, and so we didn't overthink the takes too much.
Yeah, and you already knew what you wanted to play on them pretty well. So yeah, it was a pretty. I really like this part live because this is the song we open the set with, and or at least right now. And so this is the first moment in the show after 4 minutes where I can breathe for a second.
Yeah,
and it's just like a. I still have to play, but it's just a few notes, and like I don't play immediately. So yeah, and then we move into the first time we hear this part here, which is what, as I said, we call the chorus. Yep, lots of vocals.
Yeah. This is always a good trick for me when I want to have something melodic on vocals, but that has a lot of grit because I can't manage to do that with my voice by myself. So having Anthony double it down in the back by adding some growls give it more strength. This kind of vocals, the kind of mid-range gritty vocals, like typically this part here is something I don't want to do live too much because it hurts the voice a lot.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it's not like the Fry singing in the upper register. This is more a throaty kind of grit, and you can only do silent.
Yeah, it's very.
Yeah,
and it's all here.
Yeah, I don't have a good technique to do that without hurting myself for now.
And in the background we have a bunch of very cool stuff.
So my initial idea here was to introduce for the first time that pattern in the song, that is throughout the entire second half of the song, but it ended up being completely buried behind the drums and guitars, so we don't hear it. So hooray!
Yeah. So we have this little thing, and then we go into. It's the first time I believe we have this part as well, which is this build-up, like a bendy build-up. And one of the most annoying transitions to remember and like be tight on.
Yeah, it's
between those two parts. Whew.
Yeah,
Non, en fait, ça va. Ça, c'est n'importe quoi. C'est ça, quoi.
Ouais.
Yeah.
I remember us talking about this effect when you guys did that with Julien and the guitar recordings.
Yeah, just
that was fun.
Ring mod getting more and more present. I think it's the first time on the album where we introduced this kind of pulling on the rubber band thing with like in this case it's just a band, but that's something we do a lot on this album, having this kind of weird tonal modulations, like whether it's like upwards or downwards, but like or and the stuff and stuff like that.
Really long.
And have it really long and then ended it suddenly. So yeah, that's something that's kind of a theme in the album, I think.
Absolutely. What do we have? Some organ.
Yeah, we're combining these kind of upper ramps,
Mm-hmm.
ramp ups with some like lower drops. So if you combine like the rises and the sound design, they're
Yeah.
kind
So
of,
all of these effects sound like. And of course the drop. And what is it? It's literally a rise cut in.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
This part is really fun.
That's a cool riff, yeah.
What did the guitar do here?
It's kind of a dissonant and weird take on the main riff. So the fingering is kind of the same, but
Okay.
just adding some bends and a bit of swing to it.
Okay. And like those bends, those kind of aggressive stopping bends.
Yeah, that's a very Frederick Fordendahl thing to do. Adding those little yeah, he does that a lot. Yeah.
Quick bend and release.
Yeah.
And also sort of like a twangy tone because you're kind of using, I don't know, I imagine those things are more like single coils.
Absolutely.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it was meant to be more twangy, so it's a single coil, definitely.
Yeah, sounds like it. All right, cool. What else is there?
The backing vocals no one hears.
Yeah, I was like, are there vocals?
Oh.
I forgot the and then again. And then the whole mix. Loud would have been nice to have louder, yeah.
Yeah,
I forgot.
this was studio time I paid for. That's.
Gnomes.
I need to apologize to my fiancée and everyone involved in my finances. This is very bad use of my money.
Alright, we have this build up.
Maybe it could be cool to just listen to the entire build up with only the effects.
Yeah, absolutely.
Là, c'est fixe. What? Quel bordel. T'es fier? Très.
Oh, assez colossal. Exactly, the cool kind of boom is from just all this together. So you have this boom boom, and then the riser, and this, and this, and this. Right, it's all together doing, and that's why it's so cool. Percussion, these are fun. Lots of reverb apparently.
Yeah, lots of reverb, yeah.
So we just re-recorded some snares on
Yeah.
top of the main drum snare.
Yeah. Yeah, good luck hearing that.
So you didn't know, but Pablo actually doesn't play drums. He just shoots with AK-47s into a wall and this
On a
is what-
snare.
On a snare.
That's a cool drum part.
That's a really cool drum part. many high-end guitars can we stack together? As many
Yes.
as yes. So then we go into verse 3. Yeah, sure.
Si tu mets le funky, une octave dessus. On est d'accord que tu as mis ça au piano parce que tu as la flemme de l'apprendre à la guitare. Mais je joue aussi la guitare, voilà pour.
This weird thing where we have basically 2 chords, and each pattern, each repeats 5 times, and not 4 or 6, whatever. It's 5.
Yeah. Again, the sugar.
Yeah.
Yeah, polyrhythms. The five times thing comes from just how many loops we can stack in those bars, and so that's how it was decided.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
So that wasn't something like you weren't hearing like, oh, I want 5.
No,
Okay.
pure math.
Really?
Yeah.
It's funny. And we have this really cool thing. So this we don't play live. It's only on the album.
Time is nothing as long as it's not beating with legs flopping in chaos.
Yeah, that's a pretty cool effect.
It's a really cool effect. Julien kind of had this idea of like, how about we do this left and right thing where they start slowly moving left and right and then they move more and more and more so that it becomes almost destabilizing in the whole song. I think it sounds pretty good. I mean, in the final version, in the final master, it's a bit buried, of course, but still
Yeah,
cool.
but I think it contributes to the part being opened up progressively. You start with a very heavy, straightforward stereo riff, and then it opens up gradually thanks to those vocals being.
Yep. Vocal comes in. It's like again, everything coalesces in the middle, and there's something to really anchor yourself to.
Yeah.
You weren't trying to be too aggressive.
Yeah,
here,
we
right?
did many takes of this because the vibe was just not right. I think it was too. Initially, we had the first version that was very straight. Then we added more inflections in it.
Yeah, possible. Let me see what I have here. Oops. Yeah, a lot more.
Straight and linear. Yeah.
Yeah, and sort of disconnected. Okay, cool. Then we have our second chorus or whatever this is. That whole bam bam.
Actually, same idea musically as the previous one, but the vibe is kind of different, more black metal-ish.
Yeah, it's way more chaotic.
More chaotic
yeah.
and more violent, and also while in the previous chorus, my voice was on the forefront and Anthony was backing it. It's the other way around here.
Yep.
He's in the forefront.
Most of the song is at 83 BPM. Up until now, actually. And here we do a little jump from 83 to 87 just for this chorus, and it's live. This is one of the hardest moments for us to coalesce together and make sure we don't screw it up.
Yeah.
Because Pablo is playing this.
Yeah, and we're not a band that also uses a lot this kind of blast beat thing where the snare is on the upbeat,
Yeah.
which is very common for a lot of bands, but not us. So I think we tend to get lost in that as well.
Yeah. This bum bum thing that in this version of the riff is just not there in the rhythm section.
Yeah.
I really like it. It's always a good, very intense moment because we going towards this last big build-up before the break. So, and it's as I was saying, this is the first song. So at this moment we're all pretty much
Desperate.
desperate
for a
get
break.
to this break.
Yeah. We're not a death metal band.
No, just give us jazz.
We're not a jazz band either.
Please
Just
don't.
give us.
Dinner.
Ouais, on vient de se faire un 7 minutes du morceau. Putain, chaud celui-là quoi.
Bah,
Il y a beaucoup de coups.
il y a beaucoup. Et honnêtement, j'ai beau me dire ça va, en fait je suis toujours pas dedans.
mais non, je te sens.
Depuis ce matin, j'arrive pas à en caler une et je sais pas pourquoi, je suis pas dans le bon mindset donc il faut changer ça. Mais voilà.
Mais je pense que c'est aussi par rapport à ce que tu joues.
Ouais.
Tu vois, parce que quand tu avais fait la deuxième moitié, nickel. Ça s'est passé sur la première prise, c'est passé beaucoup mieux. Donc je pense qu'on va peut-être faire la deuxième moitié de celui-là et attaquer Sunday après.
Ouais.
Comme ça on est plus dans le gros, dans un truc comme ça et on va refaire quelques riffs demain matin.
Ouais, ça me va. Honnêtement, je le sens que même là, j'arrive même pas à être hargneux, tu vois. C'est genre juste, ok, je dois jouer mes trucs, je joue mes trucs et c'est tout.
Ça s'entend aussi
Ouais,
un peu.
donc je sais pas comment faire pour changer ça. Mais...
T'inquiète.
Mais ouais, mais faut que j'arrive à me mettre dedans quoi.
And this is where we go into a really cool part of the song, I think. Always a weirdo live because here everybody thinks we are done playing. Here everybody thinks that the song is finished. Little Omnerod signature, a sample from a movie.
Everything has to die. That's the truth. One likes to think that there is always hope, that you can live above death. And it's uniquely human fantasy
that things will
get better. Born perhaps of the uniquely human understanding that
That was a fun one.
Yeah.
That was a fun one.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun with Pablo. So we work with Pablo on all the effects and synths and sound design aspect of the songs. And so I knew I wanted this particular sample in the song, but we worked together to make it sound a bit more etheric and
More interesting,
and more interesting. And so we actually took quite a lot of time to really craft it so that the inflections followed kind of the movement we wanted, and some words popped out more than others and stuff like that. So it was pretty cool. And also we had 2 or 3 layers going on at the same time, which is why sometimes you hear like some lower inflections while the main one is still being heard.
death. Other animals live in the present.
We were trying to figure out like what to do here in terms of percussion because we had this idea that it would be cool here to have a bunch of extra texture on the percussions, and it was like, and I think Pablo just grabbed the guiro. I was like, okay, I have an idea. Ding, 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 ding. And it really gives this part, I think, a completely different color than what we had before. It kind of makes it swampy, makes it a bit witchy.
Yeah. Yeah, and this entire section, like this 2 to 3 minute section of just like psychedelic, old school prog rock stuff.
Yeah.
Mainly like a bad ripoff of King Crimson and Gentle Giant, basically.
Pretty much, yeah.
We didn't want it to be too boring. We needed to find some stuff that would make it like different from section to section and not feel like just one riff that goes on for like 3 minutes, even though there's no vocals on it, because that's also the challenge, to keep the attention of everyone listening without having a lot of like lead vocals. And like instruments come and go, vocal layers come and go as well. Some FX layers like are more prevalent in some sections and others are more heard in other sections. Yeah, so
So let's just listen to those percussions. There's some really cool stuff in there. There's a little rainbow. Rain stick and a prayer bowl.
Yeah.
And the bass groove that we're talking about is this. It's one of my favorite parts to play live. else is fun here? Some organs. That whole thing we were talking about earlier. Now it's really in the front. Right, you have a really cool vocal
A
part
lot of
here.
vocal stuff, yeah.
And so again here, as I was saying before, we're also using different microphones to try and make those vocals sound as different as possible. And on purpose, not too edited. Like we didn't tune this, if I remember correctly. We didn't really do much. There's sort of like a release here. It's still the same groove.
Yeah, but a bit more driven
Yeah.
on the drums.
Yeah,
And,
there's like a solid groove because of course before we had this thing going on. On off and then just nice and steady all together.
Remember this part being a challenge to compose with Pablo,
Yeah.
because that's influences that those styles are not big influences for him.
No.
The old prog rock stuff,
yeah.
and kind of fusion as well. So we had to find this soft spot between moody and very very soft, which he does well, and more driven complex stuff, which he also does very well. In between there's this gray area where it's like you need to hold back a lot and still groove and find something interesting, some ear candy to play without it sounding too complex.
Yep.
And also to
yeah.
follow the instrumentation, which was not like very obvious here.
Not at all, yeah.
Didn't want it to be too on the nose and follow that to tin tin to tin to tin to tin tin to tin too much, because that would be a bit like boring for the like 2 minutes. So yeah, it was a big challenge to compose this section, but he did a very good job.
I really like what he's playing here.
Yeah.
Talk about for a minute about those guitars here, because this is some
there's
Holdsworth fusion guitar madness.
a
here.
lot of stuff going on in the guitars here, and a lot of layers that come and go.
Mirrors the bass.
Yeah, this is basically the same thing that's played by the synths. And this was the main initial idea behind this section, and the bass came afterwards. But since the bass had a lot more groove, I think it made more sense to have it like drive the part. But initially this was like the tonal foundation for this section.
I think in the end the bass here is just playing around
this, yeah,
this riff,
yeah.
but it's not playing something different.
No.
And then we have this little guitar.
Waouh. L'enfer.
C'est quoi? Ça manque un peu de finesse et de twang.
Twang.
C'est un peu trop, il y a un peu trop de corps, je trouve, dans ce tune. Peut-être que je peux passer en full piezo. On va voir si l'autowa marche bien. Le problème, c'est qu'avec l'autowa, les scripts ne ressortent pas. Parce qu'ils sont pas détectés.
Quoi les.
Bah, t'as pas un setting ici qui permet de trouver un juste milieu justement? De trouver le juste milieu et de le faire ressortir? Parce que t'avais à l'instant, ça marchait pas? Ouais.
Ouais, comment ils s'en vont et tout. Ouais. C'est bon ça.
Ouais.
Génial, c'est bon ça.
Yes.
Ouais. À chaque note.
Après, est-ce que la performance est bonne? Non.
Okay, and then we go into well, the big bombastic pickup again. What do you have here? Sure.
Yeah, that was. I remember that we didn't have those swells initially, and we were like it was during the mixing stage, and we were
Okay.
like this section doesn't work. There's something weird about this guitars coming like straight in your face, and this it feels a bit dry. So we just
Yeah.
added this during the mixing stage.
I remember it now, yeah, absolutely, because the rhythm guitar is just doing this. Kind of leprosy take on rhythms.
Floating cathedrals as they fall, I shall rise.
Very useful skill on a day-to-day basis.
This is one take, obviously. Maybe not so obviously, but it is.
We did do some gag vocals during Anthony's growls though.
Oh
Both
yeah,
of
we
us.
did. Yeah, that's true.
Descending before our eyes, carriers of our demise.
That's a very church boy choir sounding gang vocal performance.
I am so mean. Yes, give me the
F you, man.
F you. Glockenspiel. Ooh, that's clever. So it's playing the riff that's about to be played.
Yes.
Goes into the next riff, which is. And the guitar just play. Anything else here?
You play that stuff on the bass as well, which is
This is
pretty-
really hard. This
pretty
album,
hard,
this
right?
album bass is very, very hard. You actually recorded this.
I
You
did.
actually recorded this because this was too fast for me.
Oh.
Today I can sort of play it, but
It's difficult. On
it's
bass,
hard,
this thing,
man.
yeah.
Là, c'est à la limite de mon. De ce que je peux faire physiquement, je crois.
Tu veux que j'essaie de le faire ça vite fait?
Hein?
Tu veux que j'essaie de faire ça vite fait?
Tu veux?
Je peux essayer.
Vas-y, s'il te plaît. C'est bon, hein?
Je crois que ça laisse.
now we have outro, which is really cool. I really
Yeah, I
like
like
the
this
outro.
outro. Yeah, that's
This
cool.
is this is a cool riff. This is one of those moments where I just look at it and I'm like, oh, there's a good song in here.
Yeah,
It's just in the last 30 seconds of a 10.5-minute song. Nice.
yeah.
Well
It's
done.
just a reward for everyone who stuck
Yeah.
around.
It's like,
I'm also very happy with what Pablo did on the drums. I remember we worked a lot during the composition of this outro.
yeah.
Because I had a very specific feel in mind that I couldn't just write. I had no idea how to write that, but this very ghost notey, very swingy feel with a very heavy snare hits, and then he managed to do something very cool with that. I really like the double time on the cymbals at the end of each loop, like.
And then of course, going into this, which is just a continuation of the same theme, that links us right into the beginning of Spore.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's it for this part, which is the end of the song.
Yeah.
You made it till 11 minute 30 of the song.
And we love you for that.
Thank you very much. I hope
Thank you,
there
Mom.
was I hope there was something interesting here. Don't hesitate to leave some comments, ask us questions if I don't know,
And
whatever's interesting to you.
don't forget that you can purchase the stems and the tabs for every songs on the album on Bandcamp. We'll put the link in the description.
Yeah, they look like this. Let me show you. And you can see that everything that is there is already in the tabs. And so when you receive tabs from Roma, they have 50 tracks. All the harmonies and the effects is already written. And it's a lot. It's a lot of stuff. So, thanks so much and see you soon for Spore.